think we're live again. Good morning. This morning it's about 1:30 in the morning, and we're here for the end of the Amazon race. We're here for the start of it. Now we're here for the end. Now I'm sailing in. I have a bit of an escort here with Cedric. He's retired from the race. He got stuck while he was offline. Therefore has retired, so he's out of the race and has teleported just to sail along. So yeah, it's been a very long, tiring race. I haven't had a lot of sleep. I'll have a quick look at the leaderboard. The winner has already been decided. He crossed about 25 minutes ago. He didn't put a foot wrong and has pretty much smashed us by a couple of hours. So Louis will be passing fairly soon. He's done well. He's been pretty consistent. Not many of us have gotten through without some sort of drama today. I've grounded several occasions, but we'll get into that. Matt's grounded, everybody's grounded. About the only person who hasn't grounded is Party Pirate in the Caribbean Rose, and the winner, of course. Quite a few DNFs due to those groundings. Cedric, who I'm just passing by now. Glenn and John 303 were pretty high up there for the first sort of 6 or 7 hours, but I think something went wrong, and I noticed them both just run ahead and run into the shore there. Tang, he went pretty early. Parax went pretty early as well. He got a really bad teleport after grounding. He got sent way south, so he wasn't going to be. Now he's giving me cheek. Oops, that didn't work. Yes, what else? I'm not sure if this stream is coming through. I hope so it is. Yeah, so the usual retirements. Now we've got some guys who are miles away. I don't even know. I haven't heard a peep out of Moggy. Quadpuss, he was going through the centre. Some just got grounded and just bro, he's Mr. Brahms. He's had a pretty good race actually. He's made up a lot of spaces. I mean, probably quite a few due to retirements, but that happens in racing. And he's charging along. He's still got a while to go. He's 4 or 5 hours, maybe 6 hours to cruise in. I mean, I've still got just under 2 hours, depending on how fast I've got. How fast I'm moving along. Now my immediate situation, let me zoom out to the map. So yeah, it's already past the line and won. Louis here he's not too far out. Nemo's in third. I've been trying to catch him for hours, but I just can't do it. I'm in fourth. Matt's back there in fifth, and I've been holding him off. He can't catch me. It's been a stalemate for about the last 4 or 5 hours. Oops. I hate when it does that, when I click off screen and it goes wonky. Now there's plenty of this section here. The last sort of 6-7 hours have been the only time that we've been able to rest and get a little bit of sleep because of just the sheer amount of shallows. And when we left the stream before, we were still coming up this channel, which was fine, and we were all still grouped up here. Then we kind of split. You see where these guys, some guys went up to the deep to pick their way through the reefs. I tried to be clever by cutting through here. I thought I'd found a path through there, but I didn't. I grounded along here and got teleported down to here. So I decided to come down through this channel, and then I had to weave my way through various things. I grounded again up here because I dozed off. Then I tried to cut down here and come up here, but I grounded again through there, so I went backwards and went up. Now, fortunately for me, Matt also grounded around here somewhere, and that's how I... No, that's not what's going on here. Okay, something going wacky there. I'm not sure whether this stream is coming through. I might be having internet issues, but it might at least still be recording if it's going up. Now we got guys. There's Moggy, so he's obviously grounded. Quadpus, he's got so long to go. If he even finishes, I'll be amazed. All these guys back here, I think that's the dev boat there. Boats here that I just... And Party's up here somewhere. Party Pirates, who was with me in the stream earlier, he's up here somewhere when everything loads. I seem to be having some internet issues, so I don't know how long I'm going to be able to do this. Yeah, here we go. So he's still going. I don't know how. I haven't heard a peep out of him. John's still going. He got grounded a lot as well. Boats everywhere. So there's Party, and he's been in the rows, and he's managed to get through there with a deeper draft, and not ground. And I mean, he's not in it for the race as much as just he's been. He might have even mentioned earlier on stream that it's been a matter of a practice for a future cruise that he's leaving next month. So yeah, yep, there's Mr. Brahms there. He's coming along. Anyway, back down to here, there's not really much I'm having to do. I'm not worrying too much about ripping out too much top speed, because what I've been able to just pull by pretty much staying in a straight line has been keeping me in position. Now I think I've... Oh no, there he is back there. I thought I'd lost my little green escort there. So I'm not sure what's going on with my internet. I'll just tell Cedric that I am streaming. So yeah, we've still got a bit to go, an hour and a half, depending on the wind. I'm just trying, to be honest, to keep awake at the moment. And it's a big struggle tower, because it was a 4 AM start, and it's now 1:45 the next morning. I've had a couple little naps in my chair here, and I had about I think about 45 minutes laying on the lounge, and that's about all the sleep I've had. Let's check Discord. He's... And I'm not real keen on shifting my line too much because I'm on dead line straight for the finish, and I just want to move. I'm not going to catch Nemo, and I don't think Matt's going to catch me. So it's been it's been a really tough race. For my first long distance race, I think I've probably picked the single worst one to do, because it has just been constantly having to work. There's been no open water stretches until the last few hours and along where we are now, and I've just not been able to trust the autopilot at all. It's like, if I put the autopilot on and log out for a bit and go have a rest, I just know that I'm going to spend the whole time grounded somewhere, because it just keeps happening to more and more people. It's half the fields that have DNF'd have probably grounded, such as Cedric, have grounded while they've been offline on autopilot, and have come back several hours later and have moved nowhere. So race over pretty much. They're going to be like 8, 9, 10 hours behind the rest of the field. And in these sorts of conditions, where we've had 8 knots of wind is about as the highest it's been all day. And Louis is back online, so he's come back on for his finish. Lucky for him, otherwise he would have sailed past the marker. So he's turned down now, and we'll keep an eye on him, congratulate him as he goes across the line. The water here in the Amazon actually looks different to the water that in other places I've been sailing, which is pretty cool. I mean, it's not high fidelity graphics when it comes to land masses, and I mean the water texture itself is pretty basic, but it does the job, and the waves do look cool, especially when you're in big choppy conditions and high winds and high waves. But yeah, this murky, sandy, brown, muddy water that you would expect in the mouth of the Amazon River. Yeah, pretty much. So we're just pottering along. I just keep getting paranoid that I'm going to look back and not see Cedric, but see Matt sail. But so far it's been good. I mean, the depth, that's been the issue. Some of these areas has just been an absolute joke. Like some of the areas I've grounded, like here, I didn't realise it was getting so sort of here. It's not really been charted, and it was somewhere along there that I got grounded, so I changed my waypoints and had to come back. And when I dozed off and sailed up into this bank here, that didn't help. Picking my way through all of this, like I teleported to there, so I had to come back down, just following the dark water. I thought I could get through here. I tried sort of through here and tried to go a little bit in a different direction after the first grounding, and then it teleported me down to here, so that was the end of that. The first few hours, they were good. You had room to maneuver. It was just once we got into here, and I mean I really should have gone up into the reefs with everyone else, but by the time I grounded there, I was in the lead by quite a distance, so I thought worth the risk, really. if I had just snuck through that bank and into this section here, I would have been able to just tack my way across here, dodging the real shallow bits, and would have been scot-free. I could have put the boat on course and gone for a couple of hours sleep, but as it is, I had to then spend the next several hours, about 4 or 5 hours I think, getting myself through all this, and it was, yeah, it was just amazingly difficult, really. So yeah, back down, check Lewis. Louis he's still going. So not much else to say. It's just we're just basically cruising now to the finish. There's not going to be a hell of a lot of racing done. I'm just going to be doing, everything I can to keep Matt behind me. And when Nemo draws on the map, there he is. He's nearly 2 miles ahead of me, so unless something goes horribly wrong, not a chance of catching him, I'm afraid. So it's really just kick back. I wish I could put some music on, but YouTube and their idiotic rules about copyrights and stuff like that. I don't want to end up with an email inbox full of copyright notices and have that one notice that is going to block the video or something like that, and then it's a pain in the ass to unblock it, to remove the tracks. Otherwise I'd be chilling to some string quartets or something like I normally do when I sail, and just purr along. So maybe someone will join me in Discord or something for a chat, but and you're gonna have to forgive any yawning. Because it's been a very hard day. But in the end, I didn't get this funky little badge, which will be my first one for the long races. And have a pretty good result from the end of it. 4th position. I was back down about 6th, 7th or something after my incident up the top. I went from 1st to about 6th in no time, and then lost more spaces trying to recover from that, and then it was just pretty much luck that I managed to get back past Matt and get back up to 4th place. So, but it's all a learning experience for me at the moment. I've so much I've learned about racing, and trying to think ahead several hours at a time. It's just been a bit crazy, but it's been a very, very, very good experience. And if I did this thing in real life, if I did this race in real life, I'd be bragging about it for years to come, because it's very, very challenging even on a computer sim. To do it in real life would be just plain exhausting, and it'd be a hell of a achievement to pull it off. So even though that badge is pretty naff looking, I'm going to be wearing it for quite some time with pride. So, but for now I might mute my mic and we'll just sail along and see what happens. And if someone joins me in Discord, I'll unmute and we'll go from there. Okay, well, we'll just sail and just cruise, enjoy the sound of the ocean and whatever. We'll congratulate Louis when he finishes. Oh, well, I just started up the stream on my laptop in the browser and it seems to be working okay, so that's good. I'm completely out of trim because I was banging buttons by accident over there. And I still see no sail. I think I'm pretty clear now, just to cruise on home. So these as I was saying before, and I am just gonna gibber for a little bit because I'm trying to stay awake. These long races are a completely different kettle of fish. It's just, I've done a few short races and community races, 2-hour races, hour-long races, not much longer than that. And I've been itching to get into one of these long races since I got the sim, but the start times are just generally really hard, and I thought I'd jump into this one even though it was at such an early start. Yeah, sort of not really considering how difficult it would be to actually offline the race. So, but anyway, we've managed to get through with a reasonable result without too many issues. And it's just been interesting to see the amount of different sort of ways that people are going about getting through something as challenging as this Amazon course. I mean, there was up to 3 different sort of tracks. You could go south, you could go centre, you could go north, and it all came down to which way the wind was pointing when we started, that the bulk of the field went on the north track around the island, and around the top and through those reefs and whatnot, because it was just faster to run up through that channel and around the top. Running through the centre would have just been dead into the wind for the whole thing, and not many people who went that way survived. In fact, I think there's only like 1 left that survived. So I mean, we're getting pretty dodgy wind angles here, but everyone else is getting the same thing. I can see from their boats that they're not really. I think we've just settled in now for a cruisy finish. One of the biggest issues has been the wind speeds. Getting the foresails to work. In higher winds you can run a lot closer to the wind in this thing. Alright, we're getting a lot of disconnects through OBS at the moment. I think my internet is just being a little bit dodgy tonight, so how long this lasts I do not know. I would like to at least get through to the finish, but even if that means turning off now and restarting in an hour or so when I'm about to cross the line, it might be my only option. So yeah, Nima is still about 1.8 ahead of me, which is, I've only gained like about point 0.1 on him in the last hour. So it's not really. Matt has gained a little bit on me, but it's taken quite a lot of time to do that, so I'm not really concerned about it, to be honest. And he's a lot lower than me as well. If he keeps on this line, he's going to need to come back up at some point to cross the line. Whereas I can pretty much just keep running straight and run with the wind when it turns to, as it's turning to me now. Let's take a quick bio. Alright, I'm back, but I am going to stay off mic again for a little bit. I'll see if I can get some chat going in game instead or something. I think those of us racing are getting pretty weary. As I get comfortable in the chair. A bit chilly again tonight here. But anyway. task at the moment is not to fall asleep. I'm keeping him at bay. I thought he might have been closing up, but it's 0.9 there, which is about as good as it's likely to get. I can't deviate too far south to run with the wind, because I don't want to have to tack back up to cross the line, because I could lose too much time then. It's still a little bit too close to be doing that. I'm going to gradually start shifting back up towards my yellow line a bit. When I get a good burst of wind like now, which we're running at nearly 9, which is as high as it's been. See if I can get up there still carrying like 5, 5.5, 6 knots. Okay, this wind is starting to be annoying. It's coming down now at a far narrower angle to the front of the boat. So it's actually slowing the process up. And if I want to try and carry speed, you can see Matt's trying to tack back up now, so by the look of it, it might be. It's just getting ridiculous. It's coming down, cutting the angle too fine that I'm not getting any drive in the sails. And you see it's sort of picking back up. And it's only because it's 8 knots that I'm getting 6 knots. It's becoming really painful. It's going to be one of those things where the wind is just going to make this drag on longer. Well, here we are. Finish line is in sight. 23 hours, 30 minutes. It's going to be about 23 hours, 35 minutes by the time I get there. And I am completely knackered. I'm absolutely stuffed. I'm looking forward to going to bed for a couple of hours until I have to get up and deal with my animals. And then going back to bed for several more hours. And then hopefully, if you've been following the chat, get into one of the player-made races tonight. Depending on how long it is, I don't want to be sitting in for like a 3-4 hour race tonight. If I can avoid it, I'll do like an hour or two. More practice the better. But I'll do player-made races and just continue my normal journeys. I'll do my first weekly sort of travel log of where I've been in my other boats, and do some racing during the week, and see what happens. And then we'll see what's on next weekend, whether I do the long next weekend, depending on what the course is. I'm not going to do another one of these Amazon-like ones for a couple of weeks yet. But, you know, short and mediums, I couldn't do the short and mediums because I was committed to this, so... Have me a smoke. Put the legs up. Just cruise across the line. Yeah, Mr. Matt. He's done well. He should have beat me. And if he hadn't have grounded while he was having a sleep, he would have. Because I severely screwed up my little move, and that put me a long way behind. At least a good 2-3 hours from where the winner finished. It is 21:11, so 23, nearly 2.5 hours I would have lost because I was in the lead when I did that. But that's how it goes, and it's a learning experience for me. Sometimes you have to take a risk if you think the reward is worth it. And in the end, it didn't turn out too bad with a 4th finish anyway. And it's going on... Yeah, well, it's just past... Well, since I started at 4, it's just gone past 3:30 local time for me. So that's not too bad. I did kind of expect it to actually run a bit quicker, but with the low winds we ended up with, and having to go up around the long way instead of through the guts, which probably wouldn't have worked anyway. Because if higher winds, more waves, and there would have been way more groundings. Alright, here we go. Crossing the line, crossing the line, crossing the line. And the gentlemanly thing is, of course, to wait for as many people as you can. And even our Victor's come back 2 hours later to see us over the line, which is very nice of him. Something I'm not going to be able to do for most of the field because they are still many hours. Oh, I'll stop the stream there. So okay, I'll talk.